morning. This is our fourth lesson this week in maths, and we are looking at tables today. On the screen you can see the climate which compares the Amazon rainforest with the UK. So central Amazon with London. And we can see rainfall measured in millimetres and the temperature measured in degrees Celsius for each month of the year. So January, February, March, April, and so on. What does the information tell us? Can you write 5 statements about these tables? And I'll give you a couple of examples. So I could write that the temperature in January, February, March, May, June, July and August was 28 degrees Celsius in Manaus. I could say in London the temperature in March was 23 degrees lower than it was in Manaus. So this is 5, this is 28. So the temperature in London was 23 degrees lower in London than Manaus. Pause the video while you write 5 interesting statements telling me what this table shows. Okay, so still focusing on those tables, have a go now at answering these questions about the tables and pause the video while you do it. The first one, what is the average temperature in London in September? So looking at this bottom table for London and the S for September, and we're looking at the temperature. So the average temperature in London was 11 degrees in September. How much rain falls in Manaus in February? So the top one is Manaus, February is the F, and I'm looking at rainfall. So it's 231 millimetres. In which month does most rain fall in London? So I'm looking at London and rainfall. What's got the highest number? Which month has got the highest number? So it's the 75 one, which is October. So October has the most rainfall. What month is the hottest in Manaus? So looking at the temperature, I've got to find the highest. It says which month had the highest temperature, but I need to write some months. So September, October, November and December had the highest temperature. And the last question, how much more rain falls in Manaus than London in January? So January, the rainfall in Manaus was 249, and in London the rainfall was 52 degrees. So that is a subtraction question, remember. So 9 take away 2 is 7, 4 take away 5 we can't do, so we exchange. 14 take away 5 is 9, and 1 take away nothing is 1. So 197 millimetres more is in Manaus than London in January. Now it says compare the amounts of rainfall by measuring and comparing the volume of rainfall month by month. So we've got to do a takeaway for each month of the year. So we know that in January the difference was 197. So January the difference was 197 millimetres. In February, what was the difference in rainfall? It's 231 take away 37. So we've got to do a takeaway again. 1 take away 7 we can't do, so we exchange. That becomes 2 tens. We carry the 10 over. 11 take away 7 is 4. 2 take away 3 we can't do, so we exchange again. 12 take away 3 is 9. And 1 take away 0 is 1. So in February the difference is 194 millimetres. And you've got to do that for each month of the year. Pause the video while you do this. So March 262 take away 50 is 212 millimetres. April we've got 221 take away 45 equals 176. May we've got 170 take away 47. 170 take away 47. We have got 123. June we've got 84 take away 47. And that is 37. July 58 and 60, so we've got to go the other way now. The difference between 60 and 58 is 2. 60 take away 58. We've now got 38 and 58, so 58 take away 38 is 20. And now September, we've got the difference between 43 and 52, so 52 take away 43 is 9. October, 107 take away 75. That's 32. November, 142 take away 63 is 79. And December, 203 take away 65 is 138 millimetres. Well done if you got those right. Now you've got to use a calculator to compare the amount of rainfall over a whole year. So think about how you can do this. So looking at the whole year, you've got to add up the total number of millimetres of rainfall in Manaus, and also in a different calculation, calculate the number of millimetres of rainfall in London. Then you've got to do a takeaway to find the difference. Pause the video while you do this. So the total rainfall in Manaus is 1,808 millimetres. And the total number of millimetres of rainfall in London is 651 millimetres. So to compare the rainfall, we need to do 1,808 millimetres subtract 651 millimetres, and that is 1,157 millimetres. So the Amazon has 1,157 more millimetres of rainfall in a year than London does. Well done if you got that right. You now need to represent the data using a graph. You could do this by drawing graphs, or even better, by using a spreadsheet package to represent the data in a graph of your choice. Think about which one shows the data the best. So you could put everything in one bar chart and have a coloured section for rainfall. You could have a bar for Manaus and next to it a bar for London 12 times, and you could do that for the temperature. The rainfall, you could even do a line graph on top of the bar chart, or you could do completely separate ones. I'm going to show you briefly how to do a graph in Excel. So if I just look at temperature for now, I'm going to compare the temperature in Manaus and London. So I've got my Excel ready. I'm going to write Manaus and I'm going to write London underneath, and then all across the top I'm going to write January, February, March, April, May, and then I'm going to look back at my table. So I've got for temperature 28, 28, 28, 27, 28. And then for London, I've got 1, 2, 5, 7, 10. It's very chilly. So, obviously you will have all the other months as well, but I'm just going to show you quickly how to do this. So, to do a graph, what you need to do once you've put all your data in is drag over the items that you want to include. And we're going to insert a chart, and we've got lots of options here. So that's a column or a bar chart. So let's have a look at this one. And I just want one set of data. 2D, I could have 3D. I would like the bars to be next to each other. I don't think that's very effective. So I'm going to go with this one. And then I need to give it a title. So a bar chart to compare the temperature. And we've got Manaus and London in keys. So all the blue ones are Manaus and all the orange ones are London. And there's loads and loads of different charts you can have a go at. So play around, or if you haven't got Excel, then you can draw a bar chart, and please email them to me. See you tomorrow for the last math lesson of the week.